All right, guys, here we go. We got the engine back from the machine shop. All they did was hone it, and they put some new freeze plugs and clean the block. And guys, this cost 120 bucks. And right now what we're gonna do is all the little surface rust, we're gonna knock this down. We're gonna paint the block, and we are gonna assemble this thing. So we're gonna get to that. All right, guys, so what we're gonna be using now is we're gonna knock this thing down with some Scotch-Brite, just trying to get all this surface rust off, and we'll wipe it down, and then we'll come back and prime and paint the engine. All right, guys, here we go. We got everything on the table and ready. We are getting ready to build the block. Now, we're going with Max Peating rods. Now, they say these are rated at 600 horsepower, and I think that's great. They have ARP bolts on them, and pretty solid rod. They got great reviews on these, so we're gonna go with Max Peating rods, and we're going with Nippon Racing pistons. Now, basically what these are, they're like a factory replacement. Now, they say they're rated for 500 horsepower. Came with the rods, the rings, and we got the wrist pins in there, and the C-clips come with them as well. Now, the pistons are rated for 500 horsepower and the rods are rated for 600, but we won't go anywhere near that. I think we're gonna probably settle somewhere around 350, 400 horsepower to have a nice ride. So we're gonna start. We need to gap the rings, and we're gonna get all this stuff we're gonna get all this stuff together. And here's the bearings. We went with King bearings for the main and rod bearings, so it's gonna be a nice little setup, and it should go pretty good. So we got all the pistons set in, the piston ring set in, and these two are in spec. Now this one, if you can see right here, it will not go in. It's really tight. So what we're gonna have to do is pull this out, and we're gonna have to file a little bit off of there. All right, guys, so we're gonna file this down. Now we're gonna put this end on the edge of the table. Now we're just using a filer, and all I'm gonna do is press down on my finger so it doesn't lift up. We don't want this to bend. And we're just gonna give it a couple of passes. Now, when you're done with it, guys, make sure you take any sharp edges off. So this is we took this thing off about 5-10 times, and right now we are in spec on this one. So it took about, I want to say it took about 7 times of filing to get it right. So, but like I said, you can't do it enough. You can always take out too much, but little by little, you'll be fine. All right, guys, so we got all the rings gapped. Now, I looked everything up. It says I should put this one at 21, 23. Now, the crazy thing was I only had to gap this one. All of the rest of them were already in spec. So Everything came out perfect. Yeah, I only had to gap this one right there. This one was at like 18 and I had to take it to 21. So, but now that these are gapped, I'm gonna start assembling the rods and pistons and we're gonna get this thing ready to go in. All right guys, so we got the rod, piston, and wrist pin here. We got the little clip here. And basically all we're gonna do is, we already got one clip inside here. It's already in there. So now we're just gonna oil these things up. Now you can never use too much oil on these. So knock yourself out with the oil usage. I already oiled them up, but we're gonna oil them up just a little bit more. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get these wrist pins in here. There we go. Now that the wrist pin is in here, we're gonna take the rod and we're gonna set the rod on the bottom side, and we are going to slide that wrist pin in there, and boom, that's it. And once you get to this side, it's gonna stop because of the clip. It will not be able to push out. You see the little clip there? That's why I already installed it first. Now that that is installed, what we are gonna do is take the other clip and we're gonna install the other clip. Now, once you hear the snap, it's a lot easier to get in there, but guys, up until then, oh, it is a nightmare trying to put these things in. Now, this is the last one, so I got this one in a lot quicker than the other ones, but to be honest with you, I would much rather prefer a C-clip than this spiral clip. It's just a lot easier. Now, the way I installed this, if you look, the original piston has an arrow. These are designed after the original piston. Now, I put the rod on with these notches. There's notches inside the rod. Now I just put them, the piston and rod with these notches, I installed them the exact same way as you would from the factory, with the notches this way, pistons this way. So that's something, look at your original rod and piston if you're ever rebuilding an engine. I looked at that and I really couldn't find too much information about it, which is why I just decided to take the original one and just match it up. All right guys, so we got the rod and pistons together. Now what we're gonna do is we are gonna install the piston rings. I already did 2 of them, but I'm gonna start doing these ones now and I'll show you how to do that. But yeah, I'm super excited about this. These things look great. And hopefully everything works out the way it should. Now for the next one, same thing. There's a little N, or there's gonna be a dot there. And we're gonna put this one on the same way. And this one's obviously gonna be a lot easier to get in because it's so much more thinner than the other one. So here we go. We got them in. Now we're gonna clock these. Where the gap is, you don't wanna have, say like this right here, I'm just gonna show you this for an example, but you don't wanna have both of these ends. I'm pushing it out, but you don't wanna have both of these ends together. So we're gonna just turn this one around. That way, you know, if you have both of those ends together, you'll lose compression. So we're gonna turn them around and that's gonna be it, guys. We are ready to install this now. All right, guys, here goes the 4G63 crankshaft, and we did not have to take it down. It got away with just a polish. So we are going to be running standard bearings, and the bearings are right there. We are going to set the crankshaft in here. Now guys, when you're doing this, be so careful, because we do not have any oil on this, because we're gonna check the, we're gonna plastic gauge it. So now we're gonna check all of these clearances, and that's inspect, that's inspect, that one is inspect, inspect. All of these are inspect. We are just gonna take this plastic gauge off. Now guys, when you're doing this, be careful. You don't want this to sink down into any of these holes. And make sure it comes all the way off. We got the crankshaft cleaned up and the main girdle. And what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna put some assembly lube on here. Got assembly lube on there, and we are gonna set this crank down really slow. There we go. That is in there. And now we'll put the main cap back on. We got the main bearings here, and we got plenty of assembly lube on them. So we're just gonna set this down in here. We're just gonna torque this back down to spec now. All right guys, so we got these marked now. We got them torqued down, and it says give it a 90-degree turn. So we're gonna turn it about a quarter of the way. And yeah, we'll turn this till it gets to about right there. And we are gonna be good to go. And the crankshaft is gonna be all the way in. We wanna give this a quarter of a turn. That one's good. That one's good. All right guys, so we just got these things on. We gave them a 90-degree turn. They were up here, now they're here. So we're good there. And if you look guys, our crankshaft is spinning around with no problems. So super excited about this. It's looking good, and we're gonna get ready to put those rods and pistons in now. All right guys, so we got the bearings here, and we are gonna take these and we're gonna install them on the rods. Now there's a notch here and there's a notch here, and it's gonna go directly into that notch, same way we did with the crankshaft. And then we are just going to press down on this, and you heard it just snap in, and we are good to go on this one. Guys, with this, these are really sharp. When you're using these, watch you don't cut yourself. I already nicked my finger a little bit. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna put a little bit of oil in this thing, and we are gonna lube it up pretty good. We're gonna do this first piston, and same thing, guys. I am going to put some oil around this. We are going to oil up the cylinders, and we're going to do that. We're going to start with these two, but we're just going to do them all now. Guys, make sure your rings are in the right place before you install this, guys. Because once it's in the block, it's in there. Now I'm going to put this on right here, and I'm just going to tighten it down. All right, guys, so here's what I'm doing. This arrow here is going to face the front, the timing. So we're gonna set this in, and we're gonna install it we're gonna let these lines sit in, the bottom of the piston sit in. Now that's in. So what I'm gonna do here, I am going to take the hammer, I'm gonna tap this down, make sure it's pretty smooth. Okay, so now that we got that tapped in, what we are gonna do is we're gonna take the bottom of the hammer and hit the piston in. And boom, that's it, guys. That one is in. And now we're gonna move on to this one, and we'll flip the block upside down to check for the rod clearances. We got all of this oiled up, and we're gonna set it in there, just like that. Now that that's set in there, we are gonna tap that down, not super hard, just enough to make sure it's seated. Arrow looks straight. Now what we're gonna do, guys, is we're gonna hit it in there now. Boom, just like that. Quick, don't tap, lightly, get it in there. So now that we got the clearances checked, we are going to push this rod down, rod and piston, and we're going to push it down just enough to slide it over. That way it does not nick the crankshaft, because we're just going to end up lubing it up right there. Now we're going to take our assembly lube, and we are just gonna put a good amount on this bearing. You can't put too much, but once it's on there, we will kind of put it around. We're gonna also put a little bit on the crankshaft. And we'll get that all around. Now that we have the bearing lubed up, we are going to push it up from the bottom the same way we did before. You want to be really careful not to nick anything. We got to turn ours a little bit right there. Now we're going to lift it up. And there we go. It's on there. Boom. Now we're gonna put the top cap on. So, top cap, same thing, guys. A lot of lube. You can't put too much. We'll just set that right there. And we want the grooves to be on the same side. So we're just gonna set that in. And now we'll tighten it down. There we go. Now remember, we're going to put this little groove here, same size, same side as the other one. We'll set that down. Tighten it up and torque it down. Okay, the grooves on this side, grooves on that side. So it's gonna go on this way. All right, now we can torque it down. All right, guys, we got this bottom end put together. Super excited about that. Everything is moving nicely. I just rotated it over and I'm happy about that. I cleaned off the top and here we go, guys. We got the head back from the machine shop and we are going to put this thing on now. I'm using a Velcro gasket and I'm using stock replacement head bolts. So we're gonna get ready and we're gonna put this thing on now. All right, guys, so we're just gonna set this on here and this can only go on one way and we're gonna use these dowel pins to line it up. There we go. And there's two big water passages here and there's a small one here, so you can't put this upside down. This is pretty heavy, guys. Got that side dropped in. And that's it. Now we're gonna put those bolts in. All right, guys, we got this engine together. I'm super excited about it. I still need to get some more things. I need the water pump. I need to get an oil pan gasket. I'm gonna get the whole gasket set and put this thing together. I'm super excited where it's come from. You know, got the machine work done, got all the head done. Everything in here is practically brand new. So this is a 4G63. This is the Eclipse turbo engine, and we are coming along on this project. Now, guys, I want to give a big shout out to Max Peating Rods. They're helping out with this build. As you see, we use their rods. Super excited to see where this thing goes. Some of the parts are coming in, so as they come in, I'm gonna be putting them on and uploading the video. Like I said, I gotta get the water pump, the timing belt, and the gasket set, but for right now, we are into this project. This is a super low budget. I will put the, I'll put a list of what I got into it in the description of the video. That way you guys know exactly what it is, and I'll post a list of what I got into it right here, right now. So check that out. And yeah, guys, we've come such a long way on this thing. I'm super excited about it. A $300 project, and it's a big project, but it's gonna come along. We're gonna get this thing painted. We're gonna clean it up, make it pretty nice, and I'm really happy with where we are so far. Right now, I got 300 bucks into the car and building the engine. There's probably about under $1,500 into this car so far. Maybe a lot less than that, maybe $1,000 bucks. So we're getting there. So let me know what you guys want to see done with this thing, and yeah, we'll take some of your suggestions and get this thing going. So super excited about this, but thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at 79th Productions and Facebook at 79th Productions, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. And guys, if you want to support the channel, pick up some merchandise. The link will be in the description. That always helps because the funds from merchandise goes directly into these builds. But yeah, guys, I'll catch you guys on the next one. God bless you guys.